Hey NBA, it's me again. Now, let's get into it. I've always went to war with giants, but this needs to be addressed. And it needs to be addressed at the highest level that anybody in the free world could ever think. Because we have a major problem here. And it's so bad, I don't think people even understand what I'm talking about. It shows you how far we are along with the brainwash that we sit here and we forget, like literally forget things to a point where it just becomes absolutely baffling to me. And the more I look at the situations, the weirder it becomes. Now, the OKC Thunder, they were America's team. They're the new Golden State Warriors. They're the apple in everybody's eye. Shea is one of the favorite players of the league, MVP of the league. Now he's back to back MVPs of the league. And in a matter of about, I would say 4, 5 to probably 7 days, he's now a villain. That's right. SGA is now a villain. Mm, mm, mm. And the league allowed this to happen. And I'm going to explain this to you so that everybody would know in simplest of terms what is going on here. They're not the Grizzlies because the Grizzlies never won a championship. This is where the Grizzlies would have been had things went another way. But let's stay here with this. Now, this person says Shea is the face of the flopping era. I want you to remember that because the NBA is promoting this. They're pushing this narrative. You know why they're pushing this narrative and why you guys are doing that? Because you guys hold Wimbyama as the Messiah. And you don't even know why you're doing it. They programmed you to run behind this Wimbyama, this wimpy, and y'all out here playing a fool. Meanwhile, the face of flopping has always been LeBron goddamn James. And y'all just forgot about him and all of the bullshit he's been doing for years. So, lowlights who jumped on the bandwagon and wanted to call out Shai Alexander, and Shai is a flopper. He's absolutely a flopper. No questions asked. He is a super duper flopper. Never could take that away from him. He shot like 25 free throws against the Pistons and went to overtime. We'll never forget that. So no one is defending his flopping ability, but the fact that everybody act like this is an anomaly that just happened because they won game 5. Now, why would Lowe be hating on SGA? And it's not just Lowe. All of these people have jumped on board Twitter and everybody, they're losing it because they like Wemby. Because if you think Shai is the only one, Shai didn't even lead in free throw attempts this year. Low lights. You want to know who led in free throw attempts with the most ghost fouls I've ever seen in professional sports? Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic led the whole league in free throw attempts. He shot 645 free throws this year, and he didn't even play but 65 games. Shai is second at 6'14". Denny Avia is at 16, and Paolo right there, 5'90". Another guy they love to put on the free throw line. Just like I told you, Paolo is 4th, and he didn't even make an All-NBA team. Now, the grandfather of flopping is LeBron James. Right? The guy who used to have this title, who was vying for this award, was James Harden. James Harden be throwing himself on the floor more than anybody. Old James, I mean, now he still does it, but he don't get the calls no more. People used to hate James Harden falling on the ground getting calls. So this has been going on forever. Stop acting like it's an anomaly because it's Shai. James Harden wasn't winning NBA championships. They want to measure how many times he hit the ground. Let's measure how many times he hit the ground. Do you want to measure how many times the Spurs were hard fouling OKC in Game 6 when Wemby told them to go out there and do it? Which should be a fine in itself, telling people to go out and injure other players because they're not better than them. And let me guess, Wemby don't flop because he's such an angel. He's so angelic. We love Wemby. You see? That's how it happens. That's how it all starts. Here you are looking to step over the one Messiah y'all created, LeBron, and go to the next media propaganda machine. Y'all jump right on board of the Wimpies. And now Shai has to be the villain. Can't have two heroes. So now let's turn OKC to the evil team. And the Spurs are the angelic good team. They got nuns sitting courtside to come and say a prayer for Luke Cornett. The NBA literally set that up. So they got to switch it. This is just all straight WWE. Well, now Wemby's the baby face. Yeah. He's like, they flopped their way to the chip in the finals against OKC. Exactly. D Wade, a flopper. D-Wade was the king free throw shooting flopper. He set a free throw record. His first NBA championship against Dallas. It's crazy. And it's absurd. Now, here's the news. I don't hate him. He's just basic. There's nothing spectacular about him. He's 7'6". A 7'6" guy that can dribble out the top of the key like Kevin Durant. He does not have the footwork of a Kevin Durant. He doesn't have the coordination. He's lanky. Like, oh my God. Like, this dude won't post up. It's like, dude, 7'6", you got to pick and roll with him. Dude, just go post up down low, and we'll get you the ball. You're 7'6", and then go to work on these dudes. What are you doing? And y'all fell for the hype job. Media propaganda at its finest. Well, at its worst. So they can't have two good guys play each other. So now Oklahoma City Thunder have to be the bad guys. So now all of a sudden, here comes all this talk about, well, we gotta get rid of what are you saying? We gotta get rid of what's his name? If we're gonna get rid of OKC or even push the other teams or whatever, we got to get rid of this good guy image. That's got to go. We need a rivalry. When the Lakers played Boston, the Boston were the bad guys. Did y'all know that? The Boston Celtics were the bad guys. The Lakers were the good guys. It wasn't all this we love Larry thing. Larry was a villain. Magic, the black guy, was the hero. Everybody loved Magic. Shai Alexander now knows what it's like from being the person that is so beloved to now being the most hated player in the NBA. Everybody's outraged with him overnight. Overnight. Shai has been shooting 600 free throws all season, just like he did last year, just like he did the year before that. Shai has been doing the same thing forever. What's wrong with being the villain? No, there's nothing wrong with being a villain if you're out there being a villain. They're not being villains. They're being labeled as the villains by the league because they need to sell the storyline. This is a bad WWE. This is TKO script all over again. And it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse because they're creating this Wemby phenomenon. And now with the magnet ball, that's all they got to use now. This is all they're going to do to move this thing forward. Now, don't get stupid and believe that San Antonio is going to win Game 7 in OKC. Not happening. OKC is winning that game. And then they're going to move forward and go to the NBA Finals. Why? Because who's the bad guys here? OKC. Who's in the NBA Finals? They're new good guys. Jalen Brunson. You're not going to have Wemby versus good guy. No. OKC is banged up. Good. That's giving the Knicks a chance, right? And he's like, good, we got a chance now. So we'll eliminate any excuse the weak NBA would try to use against them. Now, here's the thing, too, low lights. And I single out low lights because I expect better from him. I actually expect better from you. Everybody in the NBA and they mama sell calls. Shai flopping and everything. Look, don't act like that game 5 wasn't criminal. Yes, it was criminal. They were doing anything they could to help OKC move forward. Same way they're going to do in game 7. Look, game 6 was a clear example of we're going to let you do whatever you want to do, and it's going to go back the other way because we need 7 games. I told you they were going to get 7 games. The viewership was too high. They're going to get 7 games out of it. Knicks, they weren't nobody tuning in to watch them. Why we're going to keep that going on? It's common sense, right? So what you start to see is the fallout. Well, whoever goes, I don't care. The Knicks are going home. That's all that matters. Now, yeah, he got Wemby in the air. Foul. Everybody's freaking out. This is probably the least amount of free throws Jalen Brunson has shot this year. He shot like 421 though. Mm-hmm. Oh, Austin Reeves is another flopper. They flop on jump shots. They're not even driving to the basket. Luka's not even driving. He's doing step backs and flop. Austin Reeves, flop. Now, Austin missed a lot of games this year, and he still shot 323 free throws. He played 51 games this year and shot 323 in 51 games. So he was averaging 7 free throw attempts a game. That's crazy work. Now, most of these so-called sports people that's covering the game seem to be LeBron fans. So now, once Shai beats LeBron, who's the grandfather of flopping, now all of a sudden, everybody else is an enemy. OKC won. They're the enemy. When Joker won, oh, Joker was the enemy. Well, Minnesota won one time, but they were considered the enemy. All of these people always want to go against the narrative. But if you beat LeBron, that's the narrative. So what do Joel Embiid do? Do Joel Embiid flop on the floor a lot? Absolutely. To sell calls. That's what the NBA does. And then they act like it's such an anomaly. Like, Adam Silver just won't stop this thing. Oh my God. They act like it's such an anomaly. Like they don't know what to do. We got to find a way to fix this flopping problem. Duh. Don't call the shit. It's the easiest fix in the whole sports. Don't call the shit. You see him flop, you don't got to blow the whistle. So it's on the referee, not Shai. So you direct your upset anger at its proper space. Call out the people that's supposed to be called out. These officials. So the league is getting exactly what they want because they want people selling calls. That's what Adam Silver Slipper said last goddamn night. Yep. So now, that's common sense. And thank you guys for the super chat and everybody that hit up my Cash App, Carcino. I'm mad because I'm sick of people talking stupid. Like, oh, we're going to just keep saying Shai's name, Shai. How are you blaming the player for doing it? It's the referee. Jalen Brunson is a flopper. Throw himself fake and fall all over the floor. I'm pissed at the refs for calling it. Shai's a much better player than Brunson. Really? Are we really having that conversation? A man was up for most valuable player of the NBA 3 years in a row. He just won the previous two. Was Jalen Brunson named in any of these conversations? No. An NBA second team player. No. So if Jalen Brunson was never in MVP conversations, you're saying he's better than the most valuable player in basketball. I can see if he was in conversation. And I'll be like, on what grounds? What does he do better than Shai? It's funny that when OKC wins, they say it's the whole team and it ain't just Shai. But when the Knicks win, it's because of Jalen Brunson. You guys are, wow. Unbelievable. Both of them are floppers. Shai is a flopper. LeBron James is a flopper. Joel Embiid flops. Dwayne Wade flops. Luka Doncic flops. Austin Reeves is a flopper. They practice flopping to sell calls. LeBron is the grandfather of the flop. Now everybody's doing it. You look at Laundry Shamet, he's flopping on curl rolls. I'm like, dude, what the hell? You got Tourette's? Nobody's touching you. But it's the referee's fault because they keep calling the foul. It's like, you got to call the foul. He's laying on the ground. No, you don't. Play on. There was no foul. Nope. Keep it moving. It's this passive aggressive era. They all do. And then the team that they love so much are the biggest goddamn floppers. Where was your LeBron flopping video? Where was your Luka Doncic flopping video? Where was your Austin Reeves flopping video, Lo? Where was that? The man played 51 games and shot 323 free throws. It might be more than that. That's Austin Reeves. Now, we saw the Lakers games this year. You saw many times they do that. James Harden, flopper. You know who used to flop real hard too? Derek Fisher for the Lakers. He used to flop all the damn time. Danny Ainge was a flopper. Vlade Divac, flopper. Perfected it. He used to use that move on Shaq. Shaq touched him, and he would fall back like a bomb went off. Flopping came from Euro basketball. European basketball players flop. They practice flopping more than anything in the world. I mean, I think they should tech up anybody flopping. Trying to sell the call and flopping is two different things. Who else used to flop? What's his name? He was the king of flopping. Lance Stevenson. That's his name. Make 'em Dance Lance. Do you know Make 'em Dance Lance was the biggest flopper in the game? So technical fouls, as far as the flopping text that was supposed to come out, right? That never did all of a sudden, right? Remember that? Remember they was gonna be technical fouls. Carry $2,000 fines with the amount of increase for repeated offenders. It used to be $5,000 fine for technical fouls for flopping. And if you're a repeat offender, oh, we're going to be multiply doing it. That used to be the rule. And all of a sudden, you saw no flopping calls. Now start asking yourself that question. Why did they make those changes? Now, the Knicks are in the NBA Finals, right? Who talk about the New York Knicks right now? Is the sporting world talking about the New York Knicks? No. They're talking about OKC and San Antonio. Nobody's mentioning the Knicks. Like, oh my God, what a story. Man, the Knicks, the first time in 20-something, you ain't seen diddly squat on the damn Knicks. Mm-hmm. Well, everybody know what it's gonna be. It's not just low lights. Low lights I'm disappointed in the most. Disappointed in him the most. I'm like, dude, call it the right way, man. Call it the right way. Stop. If you're gonna call out him, you call out your team too. Call out your LA Lakers, your Los Angeles free throw shooters. If you're gonna make that call. But a lot of these dudes are hidden, agenda-based Laker fans who are mad OKC put their ass out. I get it. I really do. The NBA are writing articles on NBA.com talking about they're trying to push the narrative to make everybody hate OKC Thunder. The Thunder play ball. They hoop. I don't know what the hell these fools talking about. They run plays. They're running different sets. They got guys moving around, cutting. I'm like, what the hell is people talking about? They mad because they're good.
Million views of the Thunder.
Listen to this guy.
Flopping. You would think that the NBA would realize it has an issue. Their defending champions and MVP keep flopping for wins, but we as fans have two problems. One, the numbers don't lie. The Western Conference Finals are pulling in a record viewership, which means two, when Adam Silver was directly asked about flopping, he said,
players may be falling down, players may be reacting to a call, but then to me, if they're not fooling the referees, the players are taught to sell calls these days. But the officiating is incredible.
Which would be fine if selling calls was not directly leading to fooling the refs, creating a brand of basketball that many have called an unwatchable product. Even worse, in this series, the refs have been put on full blast. We can see here in a close 10-point game, the ball clearly went off of Chet Holmgren's foot, but Mitch Johnson's challenge was ignored. Then the refs gave Mitch Johnson a tech for complaining. So at this point, we need to have a real discussion. Is this whole flopping narrative getting overblown? Do the viewership numbers speak for themselves, or will this flopping narrative eventually come back to bite the NBA? And if so, how can the league fix this as soon as possible? Because our eyes are not lying. After Game 4, Tom Haberstroh counted all of the times Shai fell to the ground, and Shai has fallen to the ground 46 times in the playoffs already, more than other NBA stars, as we can see. But also, half the time Shai has fallen, he has drawn a foul call. Let's keep in mind that the Thunder also also swept the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, so Shai played in less games as well. This is not some made-up narrative on Twitter. The stats are right here in front of us. Shai is being rewarded for falling more than anyone else. And yes, sometimes when he falls, he is fouled. In this tweet that ranks all of the falls Shai has had in the playoffs so far, we can see that a few times he is dragged to the floor on a clear foul. But in several other plays, he is just taking a normal jump shot and crumples to the ground like he was just attacked. This kind of falling has led to an insane stat. Entering Game 6, Shai has made 38 field goals against the Spurs and 49 free throws. He had 17 free throw attempts in Game 5 alone. What are we doing here? We should be watching 2 of the most talented teams in the NBA going blow for blow. Instead, the refs are stepping in way too much, and at times we are watching a straight up free throw contest. This to me is just not fun basketball, but I do want to make one thing clear. There will be comments calling me a sellout for falling for this narrative, but I and many others just do not find this fun to watch. That is what my own eyes tell me. But I'll also even things out here, because yes, Wemby does flop at times too. Here's him flopping last series against the Wolves in what was an all-time acting job. And here is also Wemby seemingly telling Mason Plumlee and Bismack Biyombo to throw in some hard fouls, which Plumlee and Biyombo instantly did. Jared McCain was not flopping on these ones. So I'll certainly admit the flopping can go both ways. But I think the biggest problem here is that NBA players as a whole are just flopping way too much, and it is getting rewarded. But before we continue, I'm very excited to thank Courtyard.io for sponsoring today's video. On Courtyard, you can buy packs of sports cards, Pokemon cards, or comics where you will pull graded cards instantly. And then this is where...
Okay, forget that nonsense. Now, where he went on to say, yeah, it goes both ways. At least somebody could say that rather than make the notion that it's just Shai by himself, and that, as you can see, as Adam Silver Slipper says, hey, he's not concerned about it. So why are writers on NBA.com actually making these statements about the team? Because they want the OKC Thunder to be heels. That's the name of the game. Let's make OKC Thunder the heels. Because now Wemby's the good guy. Well, we got our bad guys. So now, last year they were the good guys. Now they're the bad guys. Now they have turned heel without actually turning anything. The NBA just made them villains. Now, this season, they become villains because they beat LeBron and the Lakers. Now they're villains. Flopping came from overseas. They flop 24 hours a day. That's how their game is played. We never had that huge flopping problem over here in the United States. Our game did not dictate all that flopping. It would just piss the refs off if you did it. Lambeer, they called the biggest flopper in the world when he was selling calls. Lambeer had perfected it. So Lambeer used to flop on our team. Shai is not even a good flopper in my opinion. He is not even. James Harden sells the flop way better than him. They just give him the call because it's his time. But saying, oh, it's becoming impossible to watch. They're selling that narrative so that they can try to get them to say, okay, well, we screwed him over. No, well, they just decided they were tired of you flopping. As if that's how they win championships. They're not a good team. They take everything away to try to single it out. So Shai had to sue Underdog Fantasy. You know that, right? Did y'all hear about that? Yeah, Shea sued them, dog. I hope he get every penny out of it. It was funny what Dylan Brooks did. But Shea sued him over it.
What's up, y'all?
He sued the actual company. Underdog had put it out. So Dylan Brooks comes out and says, Dylan Brooks and Underdog dropped an SGA operation game to try to talk about you can't touch Shea.
It's the villain. I got something to reveal from Underdog. Unethical hoops, fire. Head snap.
Head slap, hook. Look, in Underdog.
A lot of people do that. Hook was James Harden's move. Push off. Try this. You know I don't foul. Right. So that's a foul. What's up, y'all? It's the villain. I got something.
So, because that's the key. They're the villains. Shea getting all the calls because they gotta make sure they get to the next level. They gotta play the Knicks. Now, if he don't get those calls in the NBA Finals against the Knicks, you're gonna know why. You already know why. So now Dylan Brooks pulled his game out, right? And right away, lawsuit was put in place. I'm like, who calling me from Mississippi? Yeah, so Underdog got threatened. I don't know who that was. Yeah, they put out this game and they talking about they finna sell it. So they got a cease and desist to stop. SGA legal team, they issued a cease and desist letter to Underdog Sports over a promotion satire board game called Unethical Hoops, which pokes fun at the reputation of him drawing fouls. Underdog produced only 100 copies of the game, which is a parody of the classic game Operation, but they still publicly refuse to yield to the legal demands. So here it is, a parody of the classic board game Operation, in which players must try to strip the ball away from a cartoon basketball player resembling SGA without drawing marginal contact or fouls. If you touch the character, a buzzer goes off signaling an unethical hooping foul, which is a head snap, leg kick, and phantom contact. So the campaign was promoted virally on social media and website ads featuring Phoenix Suns forward Dylan Brooks. And that was Shai's SGA Canadian national teammate, the villain. So Underdog created and gave away 100 copies in a contest tied to Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. So on May 22nd, Eric Fisherman of Arent Fox Schiff LLP, who represents Shai, legally demanded Underdog immediately pull SGA's name, image, and likeness from all platforms, requesting that all physical board games be destroyed. Underdog, despite the warning, has refused to stop. The company spokesperson said, "We like to have fun with whatever is in the sports fans." What's that? Zegis, right? They opted to continue to contest and distribute the copies. Now, that's what we're there for, right? Anyway, that's where it's at. People are going to court. People are suing. It's getting crazy around here. That's how people have made the game. Because Shai has to now be the villain. That's what they want. Yeah, when you winning, this is how it always ends up. This is the narrative. They're going to keep running the same play over and over again. There's contact on almost every play, so you could call a foul anytime you want. It's just like the NFL. You could throw a flag on every play. The inconsistency is remarkable. Oh, 100%. Oh yeah, Tony Brothers. They say Tony Brothers love Shai more than any other player. He loves Shai. But what about Jalen Brunson and everybody else? Jalen Brunson, the more flopping he does in this league, are you kidding me? Well, that's the way you want to do it, you know. You want to go out and rep and do the best things in the world that you can do for your team. Yeah, we get that. You're trying to win a game, but the responsibility is on the referees. If it's a flop, don't call that shit. That's all we saying. I'm saying it for all of them. Stop calling it. Now, a pump fake in the air, and you get a guy to, right, you catch a guy off a pump fake. Right, you catch a guy off a pump fake. Man, you catch a guy off a pump fake. There's no way. You catch a dude off a pump fake and he try to, that's dude. You drawing a foul, you trying to get a 3-point play. That's not flopping. But I've seen players literally get a guy in the air and jump right into the guy. That's a foul on them or a no call. You jumped into the guy. You're not supposed to do that. Mm-hmm. I mean, if that was the case, Jalen Brunson should be arrested for what he did against the Pistons last year in the playoffs. That there alone.
And a New York City legend, he's also a legendary flopper. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're going to recap some of the very best Jalen Brunson flops. And stick around because the top 5 are insane. Let's get at it.
There you go.
You gotta respect anyone willing to go full heels up pose in their flop.
It's not a steady diet of pick and roll, but you will get the pick and roll. That little left arm, forearm, the push off of that.
And here Jalen sells what was barely a tap on the wrist into a devastating sniper's headshot. And the Brunson burner burns the Detroit Pistons more than any team on this list. And Jalen Duren turns to him with irritation and frustration and says, well, I shouldn't say it on YouTube. And yeah, here's a hip check from Cunningham, but Jalen's leg gives out like Plaxico Burress's did in that nightclub when he pulled a cheddar bob on himself back in 2008. Like this video so far, don't forget to like and hype this video if you're in the app.
More size. Waits guard Brunson a lot tonight. And Brunson fouled. Oh, Garland runs over Brunson.
And Brunson sells the shit out of this flop. The best part is the reaction by Usar Thompson, who is in utter disbelief at that call. But Big Body got him back for it, exaggerating the contact here and manufacturing 3 points out of thin air. And Jalen sold this foul like it was 5G network coverage. Do you think that Luka Doncic deserves his own flop compilation?
And look, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Everybody knows. So if you're going to call out flopping, call it out all the way. That's all we saying. Call it both ways. And I'm out. I support my brother, Solomon Hill, baby. He was just out there playing defense. It ain't his fault LeBron can't move his feet.